Well, what a weekend that Stay has had. I gotta tell you, it has been a weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can you guess why?
Because of what is it called? The show that you watch.
Kingdom.
Kingdom, yeah, Kingdom.
Yeah. So, let me give you the Kingdom update. Okay.
Well,
That's
spoiler free.
So I'll be as spoiler free as humanly possible.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to tell you who was in it or who replied to who or what happened, but suffice to say that in this episode, there were performances, one of which was Stray Kids, and Stray Kids decided to start their and actually run throughout the whole performance. It was a Deadpool themed performance.
Oh.
Yeah. And then somebody cut together a quick thing showing the opening of the Stray Kids performance and put it side by side with the opening of Deadpool 1, because that's what they were referencing at the very beginning of it, so you could see it side by side. And then a Mr. Ryan Reynolds replied and said, he said, "Oh, hello, at Stray Kids." And so then the internet lit on fire, and Stray Kids and Ryan Reynolds were trending on Twitter and various search engines. And then Access Hollywood did a segment about it, and Entertainment Tonight did a segment about it, and all of these Western publications were like, Stray Kids did this performance, blah 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 blah. It was referencing Deadpool, and the star of the movie, Ryan Reynolds, took notice, blah blah blah. And so everyone was freaking out about this whole thing. And then that was on Friday that happened. And I know we've talked a little bit about how Kingdom works, but Kingdom works by part of the votes come from YouTube views on their performances, and only 2 of the groups out of 6 got to put their performance up this week because there were some leftover performances from an earlier part of this challenge, and one of them was Stray Kids. So it's drawing all this attention. Then today, Ryan Reynolds posts a picture of himself holding a bottle of gin, because he apparently is an owner of a gin,
Aviator gin.
Yeah, Aviator gin. Wow, okay, yeah, you know things.
Mm-hmm.
So he signed a bottle of it and said it was for a member of Stray Kids. This is where I'm not going to give you spoilers. And then he was like, but now that I've been paying attention, I'm a fan of yours, so I'm going to need your autograph as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So, my goodness. I was planning to come on here and tell you, be like, okay, we got to have a conversation about how good this performance was. And specifically, I was going to show you someone's shirt from the performance, because it's a little unexpected, but I think you'll get a kick out of it. And then I had to be like, oh, so, they're BFFs with Ryan Reynolds now. So that's just how it is. I don't know. It's super weird. And, when Ryan Reynolds replied today with all that, then a whole new run of I don't know, entertainment reporters with nothing else better to do decided it was a good time to start writing stories about this too. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. I'm gonna open up Discord on my phone so I can send I took a screenshot when I cropped everything out except for the shirt so that you won't get spoilers.
Hopefully.
No, you definitely won't. I made it really small. You won't be able to tell. But this is the shirt, and I was like, oh, you have to see this.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that awesome?
What does it say?
I don't know. Probably something ridiculous. Dark Side or something like that.
Yeah.
Dark.
It looks like dark something, but
I don't know. But I had to zoom in a lot so that I could crop it so that you couldn't see who it was. So, and they were moving, when I paused it. So.
Well, I like that picture.
I thought it was cool. Yeah, so for people who are listening, anybody who listens to this part, it's a picture that has on the shirt, and it has the top half of the skull from Diablo 2's box.
Yeah. Diablo 2 original, not Lord of Destruction.
Yep, not Lord of Destruction. Yep. So I thought that was really cool. I was like, what a weird reference that it would be like on that shirt. I was like, it's a little strange, but man, that video was great. Or that performance was really good. And I'm still, the good news is that what with this and the just general fervor of Stay on Twitter and YouTube, like the amount of streams that we got on this performance was ridiculous. And the other group that performed and was also getting graded on views is usually the one that comes in second place and has for the entire show. And that happened again. So so it's pretty great. And the amount of wow, I can't believe that happened this time is pretty crazy. So like people were just not sleeping and just streaming constantly. I slept, but I don't know. A lot of Stray didn't. I don't know. But yeah, so that's my Kingdom update. I thought it was really interesting, and I thought that shirt would be the only thing we would have to talk about. But instead, we had to talk about Ryan Reynolds, who apparently is now a Stay. Oh, I forgot. He has this other company that is Maximum Effort. It's called Maximum Effort.
Okay.
Like, in reference to. So they changed their bio on Twitter to an SKZ Stan account.
Nice.
Yeah. So it seems like they're fully invested, and it's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We've been having a lot of fun. Like we finally went and got together with a group of parents who we know that everybody's vaccinated and everybody's fully immune at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And so our kids got to play together for the first time since a million years ago. And it was fun. We had a great time. But the whole time I was like sending Jeanette updates. I was like, it's at this many millions of views now. And I was just like, and Kevin was there. And so of course I was just like, I can't play the music video. I want to play it. I want to be like, hey, yeah, Steve, go ahead and put that on. Just put it on. My kids love it. So like, let's put it on. But Kevin knows. So he, I would have felt bad if I was like, oh, hey, last time I was at Kevin's house, we made him watch K-pop. And now that we're at Steve's house, we're going to make him watch K-pop. So.
What do you mean Kevin knows?
Well, because Kevin judges me. Not judges me, but like he likes certain genres of music. And he generally doesn't listen to a lot of pop, right? Like he likes like folk and country and metal and stuff. But he doesn't listen to pop. And so his like opinion is that before he listens to any pop, K-pop or otherwise, he's not going to like it because it's still pop regardless of what it is. And I'm like, but you've never heard it. Like I don't listen. I'm the kind of person that doesn't listen to pop either. Like I don't know what you're talking about. Like I still give it a chance. Like you got to listen. Anyway, I don't know. I imagine if he ended up on this show instead of you, which was never a possibility. But I'm just saying, yeah, sorry, Kevin. Then it would be much more difficult. It would be the impossible challenge. Getting him to attend the episode might be difficult.
He'd find every excuse in the book.
Yeah, daughter's not sleeping. Sorry, bud.
What's been going around the guild lately is if we ask you to do something that you don't want to do, you go, oh, it looks like my goldfish caught on fire. I gotta go, guys.
Oh man, that's great. Okay.
I can understand Kevin's position kind of on it, but for me it's like there are only a few things that just set me up for not liking something immediately, and it's not really anything specific. It's a phrase that people utter.
Oh,
and I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
It is, oh, you like blank? We'll be great friends.
Oh,
Because
no.
immediately I'm thinking to myself, no, we're not. No, we're not going to. We're not going to be good friends, specifically because you said that, you know, and I've been working through that immediate stigma because this new guy at work, who we'll call Ben, was like preemptively introduced to me mentally by somebody else that is also new because we both play WoW, and so you know, the first guy, he was like, oh, you play World of Warcraft. I bet you and Ben would get along great because he also plays World of Warcraft. So immediately I'm like, fuck this guy. Like whoever this Ben guy is, fuck him. You know, like I hate him already. But now he's in my guild and he's pretty cool. So
okay, all right,
yeah.
Okay, well, so I guess that rule is not a hard and fast.
No.
Yeah,
it's not right, and that's my point to Kevin is that you can have these rules in your life that are 99% of the time gonna be true. But there are the exceptions, and you should allow them to exist.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I was going to read Kevin's review. There was a review on our podcast on Apple Podcasts, and I was going to read it. But my intention was also to make sure I pronounced all of the weird Korean language correctly, and I did not look up the pronunciations. So I guess we're just not doing that. There we go.
Okay.
Problem solved. But that's okay. Should we we've been rolling, right? But let's play that theme song.
Well, don't we have to say like, hey, welcome to the podcast?
Oh no. We were talking for so long.
We never
Hey,
did
welcome
that.
to the podcast.
Oh.
I'm Phil.
Wait, let's start over.
Okay,
let me do the intro this time.
Yeah, you do the intro. Okay, go ahead. Yep, sure thing.
Hey, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the last episode. I got to start this episode off with telling you, Phil, that it's so the listeners won't know this, so I'll just explain really quick. We watched this episode of the survival show Wednesday, right? Wednesday is when we watched it. We are recording this Sunday, and the reason for that is because Thursday, when we were supposed to record, I fell asleep because I was just very tired. And then I had to work Friday and Saturday. So today is the first opportunity that we've had since Thursday to sit down and record, and I don't remember anything about the episode that we watched. So I'm going to be relying on you to remind me of the I mean, like I can, I'm catching little glimpses, but I had a really long weekend, at work. Just a lot's been on my head and all that. And so I was going to suggest, I meant to message you earlier today because I was like, we should, before we record tonight, we should go back and watch the episode again so that I can like refresh, but it's cool. I'm sure we can handle it. Like, now. Yeah, it is. Literally, it's too late.
I'm gonna go to bed. In fact, when we're done recording. May be. We'll find out if this is better or worse because I'm going to tell you the events and it's going to jog your memory and you're going to be like, oh right, that's how I felt when I watched that. So I think we'll be okay.
Yeah,
it'll be fine. But okay. Is the intro over now?
Yeah, well,
you didn't introduce me.
What? Okay, well, look, I don't know how to run podcasts, man. This is my first time, all right, but I've got ideas, and ideas belong to me.
That's true.
But
he's an idea guy.
Yeah, I am an idea guy. Oftentimes. Oh, that's all I am. I'm never an execute guy. I'm always just like, well, I have these ideas and I think they're good. And then other people are like, yeah, but no.
Oh, well,
I get that a lot at work, but let's roll the actual intro and then we'll get into it. Yeah.
do it now.
Wakey, wakey.
And we're back. Welcome back to the episode. Hope you enjoyed that wonderful intro.
It's great. We love it.
Yeah.
2 parts of it are now... Wait, is it 2 parts of it?
2 parts. What are you talking about? What do you
I
mean?
was trying to think of like what because it's been a while since I listened. I got to listen to the intro again because I'm like, we've heard some of the intro now from the show, I think.
Have we?
Well, we've heard one part of it. I think it was one part of it that we've heard. And you may not have recognized that it is, but
probably not.
The next time that you listen to the intro, and maybe we'll have you listen to it like before we're done tonight. At the very beginning, when there's a siren going, at the same time as that siren is playing, it's also Felix making the mosquito noise.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah. So, then let's go ahead and just slide right into that Tom's question corner.
Let's do it. Wait, I had questions?
There was one question.
Okay.
And it was like the embarrassing moment. And we may have even deferred this from the previous episode, but it was like, what does D-Day mean?
Oh, we did talk about that, yeah. And I actually looked that up.
I looked it up too, yeah.
Well, we'll see who has the right answer because
I've got the right answer.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead, lay it on me.
Oh, I've got it. I know.
Okay. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
No,
you
go
I
first.
think
You go ahead and go first. You go first.
Okay. So what I found, and this is what I believe was from the official Army website.
We looked at the same document.
Okay. That just D is day. D means day.
D means day.
So D-Day literally means day. But it means, but it's not quite like that.
Right.
What it just means that like this is a day where an event will occur, and you use the same format for like the hour or the there was another example, I think maybe location or minute maybe, but essentially it's just saying this is a significant event and it's going to happen at this time, right, on this day or whatever it may be. So it's just that the World War II D-Day as we know it, right, was just such a significant D-Day that it became known as the D-Day, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and the the other side to that is that like the D-Day being the day of the event was like that moniker was also used like the same exact way as we see it in the survival show, because if it was 7 days to the day that they were scheduled to do whatever the event was, it was D-7. And we see the same thing in the survival show. So they're literally using it 100% correctly. And I'm not sure. This is still like a part of it that I'm like interested in finding out more about, because that is true. Like we figured out what D-Day is, right? So we got that right. You nailed it. But in the context of Korea, I do wonder if it's like reflective of the fact that you are required to have military service in Korea. So everyone would be familiar with whatever information that their military would use, and it's definitely possible that the military in Korea, having a large influence from the U.S. military, would adopt some of their traditions, like using D-Day. So I don't know if that is the reason why we see it show up on TV, but like it would make sense to me because that's a thing that happens. So interesting.
Yeah. Was that the question, or did you just happen to think of that?
No, that was the whole D-Day thing was the question.
Was the question? Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. So I was just thinking out loud about the other part of it, like, I do wonder about this. So maybe we're gonna have another D-Day question on the next episode. I don't know, but I don't know if that information is readily available. Like, I don't know if you can go to like Korean Google and be like, hey, so like, why do you use D-Day in TV shows? Is it because you go more military?
Why did you say it like that?
Because I don't know how to ask that question.
Okay.
Yeah. And so rather than trying to illustrate that in some other way, I made it so that it was a sentence that didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it very possibly could be, or just like there are people in like modern society that have nothing to do with the military that still prefer
Right.
like using military time or military phonetics.
Oh, yeah.
You know, no, I would say most of those people aren't in the military, but fantasize about the military in a way, you know, and to which I say, shame on you.
Yeah. My goodness. Yeah.
There's nothing. I would go, well, okay, well, never. I can't say these things. Never mind. Let's get on with the K-pop.
Yeah, let's talk about the K-pop. Oh, there was one more. There was a mea culpa from the last episode. I was
Okay.
wrong about something. Woojin is older than Minho.
Oh,
So,
okay.
That was a thing where we had talked about it in the last episode that we recorded. They did a battle between two different teams at the arcade, and it was Bangchan and Woojin who were picking teams.
Oh, right.
And
okay.
you said like, oh, is it because they're the two oldest? Then I was like, no, I'm pretty sure that Minho is older than Woojin, and that is incorrect.
Right.
Woojin was older than Minho and is. And so the reason that they were probably the two that picked teams is, yes, absolutely, that they were the two oldest. So there you go. You were
See,
right.
I can
Yep.
use some deductive reasoning sometimes.
Yeah, of course. Why not deduct all that reasoning? So starting off in episode 3 of the survival show, the members are still at D-Day, and they're
Yeah.
getting their criticism from JYP.
And it starts with him telling them like which of the three members that are a bit iffy.
Yeah, the 3 members that are in danger of elimination. I mean, like, he's telling them straight up that, like, if you continue this path the way that you are, if you don't improve, then you're in danger of being eliminated from the group. You will not debut with the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, the members that he chose for that, or told us about for that, were Jongin, the youngest member, Hyunjin, and Minho. Minho was the one who looked confused and then turned and walked back. And you were like, that is him. It's him.
Yeah. And that's the moment that I was talking about.
Yep. So he said, I think the criticism that he had for all of them was that at this level it would be hard for them to debut. And specifically, he said Jongin was amateurish. He said that Hyunjin had an unclear pronunciation. And he said that Minho sang one line and it stood out because it was not good.
Yeah.
So he decides, JYP on the fly decides that he's going to shuffle around a bunch of parts, and that that Minho is now going to take one of Hyunjin's rap parts from the second half, and that he's going to have them all perform it in this new way right in front of him right now.
Immediately.
And Minho literally says, like, I've never tried rap before, but I think I could do it. And then he just goes, cool, then you're doing this part now, and has them perform it right then. And while gearing up for it, you can literally, they focus in on Minho to show just how nervous he is.
Yeah.
Because he's going over the words in his head and trying to be like, oh, do I know all these words? Like, he's flop sweat. He just got done performing, just completely nervous. And then Jisung, standing next to him, takes his hand and holds his hand, which calms him down, and kind of give like it. They insinuated that he like rocked his hand to the rhythm to like give him that like boost of like, it's this is the rhythm of your rap.
Yeah.
And then as he finally crests to the point of his rap, which is at the end of Felix's rap, Changbin, standing next to him, does the backup vocal.
Yeah.
And he does it well. And Minho does it well. Thank goodness. Because that is nerve-wracking. That's got to be terrible for them. So
yeah, I mean, I can only imagine that like Minho probably didn't even study those lyrics. Like,
Right.
why would he need to? So the fact that he was able to pull it off and like and have that very short period of time to think back and go, okay, what are the words that he said and how do I say them? And I mean, yeah, anybody would be nervous in that moment. Imagine performing in front of this legendary icon who's telling you do this now or you're gonna be eliminated, and you have no idea, you've never done that style before, and you may not even know the words for what you have to do. Like, yeah, that was terrifying, and I was on the edge of my seat for him. Because that's not a fun position to be in, but he did well.
He did well. And it's, the other thing about it is that, like, we talked a little bit, I think, about how Chan at the end of the last episode, Chan got criticized for not having confidence, and we kind of talked about like how like, but he was spending like all of his free time trying to help the entire group. So of course he wasn't able to like focus on his own part as well. But the other thing that happened in that episode was that Jung-in wasn't doing the dance well, and Minho was the one who stepped up to help him with his part and help him get the dance down. And if you notice, the criticism that Jung-in got was for his singing, not for his dancing. So it's like they knew going in that Jung-in's weakness was his dance, and that was not what he got criticized for because of Minho. But JYP does not know that, and nor does he care really, because he wants the results. That's what JYP wants. He wants the results, and he wants you to be perfect and be able to put you on the stage and have you be perfect. And if you can't be perfect, like in just a room with him, like how are you going to do on a stage or on a live show where you have to go on a stage while being filmed at like MTV or Mnet or something? Like,
right.
I don't know. Like he wants to put forward JYP's best. So pretty crazy. So they do well at their when they redo it in the different format, and then JYP tells them that the reason why he wanted them to be able to do this was because they had already decided that the song that Stray Kids was going to make was going to be made into a music video that would be released before the series aired. And that this is the format that they're going to go with for that, because it'd be better to put like their best foot forward and instead of getting things wrong. Like that's what they decided. So they did a recording of it. They put out a music video, and we actually get treated to some behind the scenes shots of them recording the Hellevator music video. And while we were watching, we paused the episode so we could finally go and watch the first music video from Stray Kids, Hellevator. So what did you think of that?
I enjoyed it. It's different from the typical music video that I'm used to, I guess, because I feel like most of the time artists want to continue telling the story behind their lyrics in the video. And some of that was put forth in this music video, but I would say not as much as I was expecting. I mean, they had a literal elevator.
Yes, it had a special button,
and there was a button called to hell on it, which I thought. Look, this keeps going back to my criticisms of the song title, and the context of the lyrics, really, but there wouldn't be a button to hell in the elevator, right? Because the whole point is that they are leaving it, right? So like some of those things I was like, why is like that doesn't make sense for what the context of this song is.
I wonder if the metaphor is that like they're deciding to push the button to go to hell and practice so that they could debut, and that's what the Hellevator is, but they say that they're going up, like,
right.
So and it certainly was not clear or made clear that like, oh, they stop on each floor and then have a whole bunch of hell to go through. It's like, no, they get in the elevator, they push the button, and then they go up. Like that's it. That was the whole like theme of it. And they did like, I'm curious because I know that you'd watched So You Think You Can Dance. So you saw them dance. What did you think of their dancing?
Look, I gotta be honest. I don't really remember that, and I can't say that. So I just have this. I have such a hard time switching my focuses. So the whole time we're watching it, I'm like, this doesn't make sense, but I'm trying to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I just need to be different, I guess. But I guess to bring up the whole "So You Think You Can Dance" thing, like a lot of the points that are made in that show are similar to what I was saying about, like, a music video needs to express what the song is about and like the actual context of it. And so that is something that I struggled to I guess, like, grasp in my head watching that show, watching "So You Think You Can Dance," is because that is what they're doing. They're trying to tell a story through dance, and sometimes it makes sense,
Sure.
just based on natural body language, especially if they're dancing with a partner, right? Like, it's very easy to understand the just natural everyday body language. But some of it is a little too abstract for my non-dancing brain, and so maybe that's an aspect of it, right? Watching the boys' dances that I just don't understand exactly what all of it means.
Yeah. Well,
it's not bad dancing.
We're gonna get to see a lot more of their dance over the course of the survival show, and then I imagine that we'll be able to watch more of their music videos. So, we'll see. I mean, I think we even have some audio that we recorded when we right after we watched it. So maybe I'll splice some of that in here so that people can get what your reaction at the time was.
Yeah.
But moving ahead, or I guess this is the past because this happened. What I was gonna say is, before that they left, like right after JYP leaves, everyone's standing there and they all bow and thank him for his time or whatever. And then they just like collapse because they've just been on a horrible emotional roller coaster where, like, they put in all of this work, made a song, made their own choreography, like, did all of this work, helped each other, and basically got told one person did well and everybody else was bad, and 3 people are in danger of being eliminated. Okay, see you later. Like, so they all are just kind of devastated and feeling sad and, like, thinking about, what could they have done more and everything else. So,
yep.
At the end of the last episode, they kind of previewed what the next challenge was, which was that they would be split into 3 teams of 3, and then they would be making a different stage for each of those groups, and then kind of showing what they could do then and seeing how they could improve. So that's kind of like where it goes to next, of them picking out a song or which song that they would like to use as their units, and they also had to pick out their unit. So they knew that the 3 people who were in danger were Minho, Jongin, and Minho, and so they split those 3 up so that they would have the other members.
I think you said Minho twice there, but I could be
Minho?
wrong. I think so, yeah.
Well, hold on. Oh, you're right. Yeah, Hyunjin was the other one. Yeah, so Jongin, Hyunjin, and Minho, they got split up, and the other members decided to kind of split up to help those groups together. They picked a very lighthearted sounding one for Jongin because it seems like something that would fit his personality. They fit kind of a slow sounding, kind of more emotional rap, so that Minho could practice doing rap but wouldn't have like a fast rap to do, so that it wouldn't be as challenging. He'd be able to put his best foot forward. And then I'm all over the place. This is great. Then Bangchan and his group picked the other song.
Yeah. So the part that kind of bothered me about this was that when they were all together talking about this, is they decided that the best thing to do at this point, which I'm not entirely disagreeing with, is to go easy on the three members. Like, try to find easy ways to showcase them in a sense, right? And I think that's kind of far from the point of this whole thing, right? Is that we know that they are capable of things, because obviously they got through episode 1.
Yeah.
So, like, part of me feels like you shouldn't be, and another aspect of it is that if what you're doing is you're saying, well, these three are only capable of doing this right now, so that's the only thing we can do, then they are kind of holding the rest of the group back by catering to that, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully it works out for, like, it gives them the opportunity to get that experience that they need in this moment, and then grow from that exponentially. But I don't know, it seems like a step back for me.
I could see how you might think of it that way, but I think it's sort of the opposite. They are definitely trying to highlight those members because they want them to show, like, that they can be better. But even though they picked, like, for Minho, they picked an easier song to rap over, it's because JYP noticed, like, hey, you seem like you're able to rap. And so they want to encourage and build that behavior. And so they want to show that if JYP didn't like his singing voice, then let's show him that you can rap, because he already liked that a little bit more. So let's just, like, push that a little bit further. And they are going to, like, they talked about giving him more. But at the same time, you know, you could say with Hyunjin is in the dance group. He wants to do dance. But Bangchan's group decided, you know what, we're not going to have a dance. We're just going to sing. And that's what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. And so they kind of did the exact opposite of taking it easy on Hyunjin. If they wanted to take it easy on him, want him to be able to show off what he could do, they would be like, let's just do like a big choreographed dance, because that's what Hyunjin is there for. But they did not do that. They took that away completely. Yeah. And then with Jongin, I still think that they were going sort of easy on him because he's the youngest and they want to take care of him because he's the little baby babu. But, like, they still are trying to, like, he's in the vocal group, so he has to be able to sing, and they want to show that he can do it. And he's the one that's really nervous and backing off. Seems like he wants to back off a little bit about, like, he doesn't want to mess everyone else up. And so he's having a real hard time at this point. And he's putting, like, a brave face on, but still trying to be like, I don't know. I don't know if I can sing that part. That might be too high for me.
He did say, like, this is the one that we're talking about. I think where where they were, like, going over. Woojin is in this group, right?
Yes.
So and they were talking like, oh, you know, we should do it this way and give you this. And he's the one that was kind of like backing away, saying, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't really, like, I should probably not have so much and this, that. And I'm like, no, like, I'm sitting there thinking, no, dude, this is for you. The whole reason for this is for you to do more. So you can't back away from this now, you know?
But he's also 17.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. Like, he's a kid. He's a child. Like, he's really a child, right? And trying to compete at this level where, like, you look at Bangchan is in his 20s. You know, he's like 5 years older at least. So it's, I don't know. It's crazy. So I couldn't imagine trying to stand in front of JYP and do anything professionally at 17. I couldn't even imagine finishing homework at 17. So I don't know. Like, it's just, it seems really hard. Okay, so they spend a bunch of time working on their individual parts. Hyunjin specifically is very self-critical, and when they're recording his parts, even when he gets good feedback, he asks for another take because he wants to keep practicing and keep trying to get it perfect. He wants his part to be perfect every time. And he's really working on his pronunciation. He does this thing where he's like practicing like overly enunciating, and then he like sticks a pen in his mouth to hold his mouth, like separate his mouth while he's speaking so that he can pronounce more clearly and keep his mouth open instead of mumbling. I mean, he goes through a lot, and it comes across very clearly that he wants this to work and is putting the effort in. He's really putting in the effort. Jongin, in the parts that we see, like we'd already talked about, seems very not like skeptical, like he's gonna do his best, but like I feel like you're right that at this point he's really backing off. He's like too scared to take chances and show who he is. So it's got to be hard for him. Then we get Minho's group, and because he's doing rap, it's actually like the best case scenario for him because he's got Changbin with him, and Changbin is an excellent rapper, and so he helps him really show how to not just say the words but put his own tone into what he's saying and put inflection on the emotion of the words that are being spoken. And of course Changbin knows about how to do that because like it's what he does best. Like he is a rapper and he is so good at it. So like he is younger than Minho, and Minho was like a little upset about that. Not like upset about it, but like he felt like, you know, he's an older member. He should be the one helping other people. They shouldn't be helping him. But like it sure seems like even though he feels that way, he's still accepting the help. So I'm actually pretty proud of that, like his ability to just accept what needs to happen to make them better. So they continue forward. Then they get a holiday, and so they all decide that they're going to spend some time outside of the dorm for a day, and they get the three groups go and decide to bond in different ways. We'll leave the best one for last. Like we're gonna skip over their portion altogether because we know what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah. I know
because you remember now,
and I know you know I know.
Yeah, I know you know. Yeah, and everyone who knows Stray Kids and is listening, they all know. But Chan goes bowling. Decides to go bowling with Seungmin and Hyunjin. And it's really funny because Bangchan is like pretty well known to be like quote unquote, or according to him, the best bowler in the group. I have seen between this and then there was like one other show or clip or whatever on YouTube where they went bowling again, and both times he lost. So like it's so ridiculous that like he's very much, and you can tell he's competitive. Like he's a competitive person just in general, and to watch like people who are like not good just immediately do better and then beat him by the end. Oh man, because like, you know, I like bowling from time to time, and I bowled in a league when I was a kid. When I was like in middle school, I did some bowling in a league, and I got pretty good at what I was good at, you know, pretty good for a kid. And that has carried over into adulthood. Like anytime that we go bowling, I'm usually the one who scores like the highest score or whatever.
Right.
Like that's the thing that happens. But even though that's true, there will always be like, if we do like 3 rounds, one of my games, I will just, everything goes wrong. Every gutter balls, just open frames everywhere. And I'm just like super frustrated and like, I don't understand what is happening. But I really, really feel for Bangchan in that.
See, I've had the in one particular instance, I had the exact opposite experience of this, where I'm not, by no means am I would I ever call myself a good bowler, but I do enjoy bowling from time to time, just like casually, you know.
Sure.
But one time for like my work center, my division, we went to the bowling alley on base. And it's kind of like just a thing to do with everyone, you know, similar, like kind of bonding thing. Right. But and there were a few people there that were kind of like, Chan in this, where they were like self-purported good bowlers. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I was like, I don't know like how confident you guys are, but I'm really good at bowling. So there is no way you're going to beat me. And I do this. I say things like this a lot of the time, facetiously, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's just a joke, right? I'm by no means do I ever actually mean it, unless it is something that I am that confident in, and then I will say like I'm pretty confident in this. But never to, like in the exaggerated sense that I was doing on this day. I was like, no, you guys are going down. I'm really good at bowling. And I think I bowled, I bowled like a 260.
What?
Yeah, pure luck, like no skill involved. I was just hucking balls, hoping they worked, and it was incredible. It was the best game of bowling I've ever had. And you know, it was like blowing people away. They were like, wow, he is actually really good at bowling. And I was like, I told you guys, you guys, I'm incredible. Right. But we finished that game. I was the best. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit while I'm ahead, because the next game is not going to go the same. Right. So I was like, too bad you guys couldn't beat me. You know, that it's such a shame. But I'm going to go home now. I'm tired of being the best one here, so I gotta give someone else a chance.
Never went bowling again.
And yeah, I've never gone bowling since.
Are you serious? I was just joking. That's great.
No, yeah.
That's like when PUBG came out on iOS, I downloaded it, and then the first game I played, I got a chicken dinner, and I was like,
oh yeah,
okay, well I'm just gonna uninstall this now. There's nowhere to go but down. So I guess
remember you texted me that you were like, I got my chicken dinner, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. And like, it was my first game, and I'm like, I can't. I'll never have a better record than this. 1-0. Like, let's do it.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah. Okay, so then the other group goes. Oh, right. So Chan loses, and he has to buy snacks because, of course, that's just the story of Stray Kids. Chan loses, and he has to buy snacks. And so they go to the next group, which is Jung-In's group with Woojin. And who is with them? Woojin. It's Jung-In and Han. Yeah, Han's there. And they decide they're gonna go to take a break from all of the singing they're doing and preparing for singing. And you know, singing, they decide to do some karaoke or karaoke if you're in Japan.
Yeah, take a break from doing your job to go do your job.
Yeah,
sounds
why not?
Really
just
fun.
Go and sing because you need a break from singing. Yeah, it's really hilarious. So I thought that was pretty funny,
and we got to see some trot.
We finally got to see some trot. We got to see Jung-In do a song that's trot. So it is very rhythmic. And then he had a really goofy, hilarious dance, and like the subtitles on it were just like, he just forgot we're here. He's just doing this now. He's taking over.
Yeah.
And then I wrote this down and I forgot to bring it up. So when we were talking about the Elevator music video, when we watched it the first time, you specifically were talking about Jung-In's sweater that just says boys on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I decided that it would be fun to see if I can track down that sweater and find that sweater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you successful?
I was successful. It is made by a French designer.
Mm.
And you'll find that this is a common theme with any K-pop stars, that they wear designer clothes.
Right, of course.
So no matter how ridiculous, that sweater is
I'm not gonna
over
like this.
$300
Why?
for just a black sweater that says boys on it.
Why?
There is nothing special about that sweater other than it is made by a specific designer, and that's it. So, $300, over $300. There's another music video later that like Bang Chan is wearing a shirt that has a T-Rex with a triangle in the background. And I was like, that's a really funny, cute shirt. Oh, spoilers, I guess. Bang Chan makes it. Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Who would have thought?
River's the baby.
I know. River is the baby. Sorry, children who have never seen Doctor Who. You've got spoiled on that too.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. It's just a shirt with a T-Rex on it, but apparently it's made by like Gucci or someone like that.
Of course.
And it's
right.
like a $500 shirt. And I'm like,
why
I don't
wouldn't it be?
I don't understand. And the cool thing is, right, is that when you are a K-pop star, you don't pay for that. They're all like loaned to your company. Like you have like they'll have like a designer who like for dressing them, and when they go out and they're being recorded, like it's all sponsored, right? Like
right,
they're getting free clothes.
because they don't have to pay for that, because
Right.
what's going to happen is, just like what did happen is
Yeah.
you were like, hey, I wonder where I can get that sweater, or like, what sweater that
Yep.
is and how to do it. And somebody, more often than not, well, maybe not, but is going to go find it and go, I need this because it was in that music video. And
Right.
I like it, and I have to have it. So yeah, they don't have to spend money on it,
Yeah,
because
why would they?
they're going to make the money from other people being like, I need that because this person wore it in this thing.
Yeah, and there's like a website, and here I'll plug them for us. It's kstylefiles.com. And what they do is literally just say like, okay, what are the looks for that people are wearing in K-pop music videos, and they like list all the parts out of everything that they're wearing. So, yeah, I mean, like it's available. Like you could just find out. I don't know who would pay that much. I don't know, but I mean, I'll tell you this. Today, we're getting fancy because we're immune to the pandemic now. So
Yeah.
we went to there was a K-pop store inside of H Mart, but it closed. Sad day. There's another one that's in Hana World Market. That's where we went last time when we got the Stray Kids album. But the one that was in H Mart just opened in a new location. And so we went down there today to go check it out. Let me tell you about this experience, because we were really excited to go in there and check out all of the K-pop goodies. And they haven't like had a grand opening yet because they need some permits to do some construction within the building and stuff. But they've opened their doors to have people come in and like buy some merch and stuff and like start making sales even before they've really finished building the store.
Mm-hmm.
And we walk in and we start seeing like all of the cool stuff that we love to see, Stray Kids stickers, Stray Kids calendars. They had lots of merch and they had some stuff for Twice, which we like. And so, we were just looking at all of these different things, and I start to walk towards the back of the store, and it's really like, they just basically have two aisles. They have like one aisle that goes down one way, one aisle that goes down the other, and you just kind of make a loop, right? And as we start walking, I noticed that like my feet are getting like, my shoes are getting like stuck to the floor. Like I can't lift up my shoe. And I'm like, what is happening? Like I can't take a step, and I have to like twist my foot to pick it up to be able to like, and what happened was, it appears that they had like tile on the floor or some kind of tiles, and they were able to rip all of those up. But they didn't replace it with anything. And so it just had like tile glue on the entire floor. And so if you were like walking in the back in the area where all of the albums were, like it was like impossible to take steps. And then you're like ripping your feet. And like there was another, and I was like feeling like, am I taking crazy pills? Nobody's saying anything about this. I'm looking around, like, are other people's shoes getting stuck? What am I in another dimension? I have no idea what's happening. And then I finally hear like somebody behind me being like, my shoe almost just came off because I couldn't pick up my shoe. And I was like, oh, thank God, it's not just me. Oof.
Yeah.
Why would it ever just be me? I have no idea. Why does my brain do this to me? But
oh no. Well, I mean, yeah, I've been in those situations too, especially if nobody else, because I feel like a lot of people don't really externalize a lot,
Right.
a lot of the thought. Most people, I would hope, most people anyway, but some people do, and so yeah, I am often in situations where I'm thinking, I can't be the only one thinking this, right? and I'm like looking around the room, trying to make eye contact with someone, just so I can try to read their face to see if maybe they're thinking the same thing I am, without either of us having to say it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Man. But so I was looking around. Obviously, I wanted to try and find some Stray Kids merch and some Stray Kids albums. I was hoping maybe they would have some of the early albums, because one of the things I think would be fun is that as we're going over them, like I'll just buy the mini albums and we'll open them. Like we could see what we get in them, because you get like different cards and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And I couldn't find any Stray Kids stuff, so I was a bit disappointed. I was like, but like they haven't actually relaunched the store, and so I think that their stock was pretty limited. So they only have they had BTS, they had a bunch of like other groups. They had ATEEZ, which I do want to get an ATEEZ album. ATEEZ is one of the groups that's in Kingdom, and so we're the thing about Kingdom is that you're getting introduced to these other groups, and like we definitely have an affinity for two of them besides Stray Kids at this point. Now that we've been like listening to it over time, we really have an attachment to this group called ATEEZ, and we like there's this other one that they're an older group called B2B, and what was really funny is that Sungmin used to listen to B2B when he was in middle school, and they're on the same survival show together. So I thought that was really funny, and he said that to one of the members of B2B. He was like, "Oh yeah, I listened to you in middle school," and then he was like, "Oh really? Wow. What album did you listen to?" And he was like, "Well, we listened to Movie." And he was like, "Movie was out when you were in middle school?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I have definitely had that same feeling before." Like being just, "Oh no, times. I'm old." Yeah. Oh God.
With me also.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I've had that with you. Yes. Yeah. It's pretty funny. They're 10 years apart in age. Sungmin and this guy. So
right. Also, for anybody listening that doesn't know, Phil and I are 8 years apart, right? 8? It's 8, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So, a
91,
fair,
right?
A fair amount of time difference between the two of us.
Yeah,
but still old men.
Yeah, compared to the average person who listens to K-pop, we are old. So, whatever. It's fine. Everybody likes K-pop. All right.
Except for Kevin.
Except for Kevin. Yeah, not Kevin. Definitely not. Let's go back. I literally have it open. So when I say when I'm going back, I'm literally going to rewind the episode, because all right, so we got through the bowling, and we got through the karaoke. Now we're at the group with Felix, Minho, and Changbin, and they're gonna go and hang out by Han River. And they decided that they're just gonna do a little picnic, and everything is great about this scene. It's like one of my favorite scenes of any reality show ever. And I've watched 40 seasons of Survivor and 1 season of Australian Survivor. So I've seen a lot of reality TV, and, there's a lot of scenes in every episode. So this is the best. So it's just jam-packed, right? So it immediately starts, and Felix is he's got the selfie cam on a selfie stick, and he's just not properly filming anyone at all. He's mostly pointing the camera at the sun. And Minho's like, "Where are you pointing the camera?" And then he tries to fix the angle. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to adjust it." Yeah. So then Changbin picks out a spot, and they start unpacking. And Minho has brought the most bright, colorful rainbow blanket possible. And Changbin's like, wait, what? No, why? This doesn't fit our color. Why are you? Why? And it's because he loves dark. He loves dark. But they got this one. It's like very bubbly. It's got cute characters on it. But Changbin has prepared something extra. He has brought air sofas where they have to actually like run through the grass and pull in a bunch of air and then tie them off real quick so they can chill out in some sofas. So they're just
those things. For anyone wondering, those things are actually really legit. If you can find, I don't know what it's called exactly, but a few of my buddies have them, and they're good for pretty much any situation you can think of where you need either a seat or a sofa quickly, and you have the ability to run with it to fill it with air. You know, like at the beach is the perfect place for it, I think, if you want to just chill out and not lay on sand, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I endorse this product. I don't know who makes it or what it's called, but yeah, look it up. It's just like this thing that you fill up with air, and then seal it off. You like twist it, you like roll it up and then twist it, and it clips in to like keep the air in. And yeah, it's good. Anyway,
it's pretty legit.
Go on.
So they decide that they're going to order some chicken because they know that eating chicken by Han River is classic. It's what they want. They want some fried chicken, and then they decide to play a game to decide who is going to win. Oh, and I should probably remind everyone that this whole time Felix has this Bluetooth microphone. He's got like a handheld Bluetooth microphone that he's like shouting into and talking into, and it puts some reverb on his voice and stuff. So really funny. So they decide that they're going to do a challenge where they're all going to kick their shoes off, and whoever lands the furthest from an air sofa, that's the person who has to order and buy their chicken. So they line up, and Felix goes first, and he's getting ready. He's swinging his foot back and forth. He's about to go and kick off his shoe, and then just as he's about to kick it, Minho taps the back of his shoe and causes it to fall immediately in front of him. So he's made it about 0 feet. And he can't believe it. I can't believe it's right where we started. So up next is Changbin. He just immediately kicks his shoe off. It lands right by the sofa, and then Minho kicks his over the sofa and still closer than Felix. So Felix, the one who does not speak Korean as well as the rest of them, has to now call and order their chicken. So he calls the restaurant knowing what their order is going to be, and he starts to order, and then the person on the phone is just like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. And then he holds the phone a little closer, and he's like, can you hear me now? And the dude's like, no, yeah, sorry, customer, I can't hear you. And then he pulls his handheld microphone up to his mouth, and he's like, can you hear me now? And then the guy's like, oh yeah, I can hear you. And then so he has to make the whole order through this microphone, which I have to imagine is modulating his voice in some way. So he's like having to do this order in this most goofy possible way. It was really hilarious. So then they decide that they are going to play a game of Jenga with challenges on it.
Jenga on like not really a blanket, but like this mat.
Right. Yeah. They just have like a mat. Yeah. That
is on the ground. So we're not, nobody pulled out a level to like make sure that it is the optimal Jenga playing field. This has got to be the worst condition to play Jenga in, aside from like a train,
Well, I don't know. Yeah. That could be okay.
A train? I don't know. Maybe.
Block of truths. Well, yeah. Okay. I got to point this out. One of the funniest things that you had mentioned when we were watching the show is that like they kept referring to it as the chicken god. They were like, we're playing Jenga while waiting for the chicken god.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty great. The first question they had was and he directs it to Felix. What is the part of your body that you're most confident in? And I love that, like, there's like this pause. Well, after Felix asks what that means, because he had to, and then he just says, "Oh," and then he just looks at Changbin and smiles, and everybody's laughing at each other. Which body part that he has the most confidence in? Haha. He does
the eyebrow raises also.
He does the eyebrows like, Yeah, okay, got it. They understand. And then he says, "Oh, it's my Adam's apple." And then he shakes his Adam's apple for them. And they say it's like the Hellevator, and then they play Hellevator while slow motion having his Adam's apple go up and down.
Yeah.
So
hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious. The next thing that happens is they get interrupted from their game because they got a signal from the chicken god. And Felix has to go and pick it up, and they don't give him any directions. They tell him, "Oh yeah, it's near the bus stop." And so the boys, Changbin, they're not gonna help him at all. They say, "Yes, you gotta go. Just ask somebody random." And so he walks up to just a random group of women sitting in the park and asks them for directions. And most of their faces are blurred, but like I noticed on watching this that like, one of them literally like puts their head down like in their lap. Like they don't want to be filmed, so they just put their head down completely. Like they don't want to be seen, and they're like covering up their head. It's super weird.
Yeah.
I find that to be a little strange. I mean, I get it. Like you don't want to be on film. Like it's fine. But at the same time, like I don't know. Like you could just ask to not be shown. Like I don't know. I'm sure there's just a cultural difference, but like she didn't disappear by putting her head down and putting her hands up like that. So I don't know. It's a little strange. But he starts heading over. He finds the dude, and he brings back the chicken finally. So they're about to eat the chicken, and then they decide that they're going to pull one more block, and Felix pulls the block. And Minho notices that it's a bad one. It's a punishment one. And Felix reads it. And it says that he gets to command someone to give somebody else a kiss on the cheek. And he tells Changbin that he is going to kiss Felix on the cheek. He's going to kiss him instead of Minho. Minho shot him some evil eyes. It was really funny. Like he just and they do it. They follow through. Changbin has to hold his neck so hard to like force him to be like, sit still, hold still. And I was like, man, that's really hard. Oh, right. And they do this montage of them like staring at each other
so
lovingly.
funny.
They like slow it down and play romantic music and put bubbly pink letters on the screen, right? They're just like really leaning into it, being like, oh yeah, this explosion of male chemistry. Oh my God. Really funny. I mean, like they're literally just looking at each other. It's so funny. But Changbin does it. He plants a kiss on him and holds it for 3 seconds, and Felix screams into his handheld microphone, which is reverberating his voice and laughing, and then he gets pushed away, and it's really funny. I thought that that's one of the greatest scenes in Stray Kids in all of their history. It's super funny. I love it.
Yeah.
And then they eat some chicken. It was pretty good. Good chicken. You know what? They put this kiss. I'm realizing that they put the kiss as like the very last thing that they show in this episode. So that is like, that literally takes us to the very end of this episode of Stray Kids, which is crazy because it feels like we're just like running right into it. But I think the next episode, I don't know if all 3 of the performances are going to happen in one episode, but we're going to start.
Why not?
I don't know, because like they like to do a lot of background and say like, okay, like let's show them like working on the songs, and if they have 3 different groups, they have to show it. They might spend somewhat equal time between all of them, like seeing how they bonded and how they worked and where they struggled and all that stuff. So, but I think that we'll get at least 2 full performances out in the next episode, and we'll kind of get to kind of like judge who does what. So that'll be fun. I think that'll be a really good episode as far as like, this one had a lot of fluff. It was the greatest fluff ever, but it had a lot of fluff. But I think the next episode's going to have like no fluff. It's going to be fluffless. It's just going to be like, we got to go straight into it. They got 3 groups, 3 performances, and I think that the songs that they picked are pretty good. I still like them to this day, but maybe that's just because I like Stray Kids. I don't know.
Mhm.
So all in
Could
all,
be.
impressions of the episode. What did you think?
I did enjoy this episode, even though there was a lot of fun. But the things happened, right? It was not a just a fluffy episode.
Right.
There were important moments, and getting to the bonding, it made sense, and I'm glad that we got to see it, because there were some very funny moments. I mean, every piece of the fluff was entertaining, and
right. Yeah.
and added to the I don't know what to call it,
Atmosphere.
but it
No?
just bonding, like your bonding, or the rapport that you're building as the audience member with the boys,
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
So yeah, it's good.
It's good. I really liked it. And I'm not. I was just thinking, we had made the jokes, and obviously you sang us an outro song last week, but I wasn't gonna. This wasn't intended to be a surprise or anything, but we messaged Jeanette's brother, and he said that he would make us an ending theme song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
And he did?
he hasn't yet.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just letting you know, like this is a thing that's gonna happen. Like, he's a talented
Right.
musician, and he's gonna make us
It's
an
on the
ending
way.
theme song. Like, we're gonna get an ending theme song that's totally legit. So
Well,
that'll be
all right.
cool. Yeah.
I'm looking forward
so look
to
forward
it.
to that, but we don't have it yet. So we'll just have to.
Well, Anthony, if you're listening, hurry up.
Yeah. What are you doing? Getting married
Stop
or
listening.
something?
Stop listening to this episode, or doing whatever else you're doing, and work on this theme or ending song.
He's replaying Mass
ending
Effect.
song.
Mass Effect
Ending
just
song.
came out again, so he's definitely replaying Mass Effect. Yeah.
I've been thinking about getting it since it's remastered and whatnot, and I never actually played more than a few hours of each of the games. So yeah.
I beat the first one and I liked it, and I started the second one right after, but anytime you beat a game and then you start its sequel right away, it's really hard to just continue, because you're like, it felt so final, and now I'm playing another one.
Yeah.
So I stalled out on it and just never went back. And Anthony, I know, has played it 100 times, and he's playing it again, which is fine,
Right.
because both he and his fiance love it, so they're allowed. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And but I just reinstalled Ghost of Tsushima on my PS5 because I just felt like playing it. I'd never finished it. I got a little tired of it, honestly, because anytime that I was on a mission, I wasn't shy about using poisons and doing all of the assassination stuff, but anytime I was on a mission with somebody who I felt was honorable, I tried to do the honorable thing in front of them. I didn't want to show them the dark side of me. But
Right.
there was a point in the story where they forced you to assassinate people right in front of them and have them be I'm shocked and disappointed, and I'm but that wasn't my choice.
Right.
The whole game was giving you a choice. You can walk up to people and you can fight them, or you can sneak around and stab them in the neck, and suddenly they take away all your agency, and they're nope, sorry, you have to do this and make your relatives mad. Sorry.
Yeah, I do hate that about video games, that for the most part follow that player agency route,
Right.
And I understand that sometimes you kind of have to do that, otherwise the possibilities are just far too endless.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the struggles of even DMs in D&D, right? Is that you can only prepare so much, and there are times where you're going to have to do everything you can to keep the players on track. Otherwise, you're just going to get overwhelmed.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And, but it is unfortunate that especially if it never allows you, if in those situations you're not allowed to continue with whatever theme you had been playing the game with up to that point. You're saying,
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty weird, but I've put enough distance between then and now, and I feel like I can just jump back into it and get through it. I've just been trying to beat games. I just beat Resident Evil 8, and it was great. I loved it, but it was short. It was 10.5 hours and then it was over. So I may just try and trade that in or sell it or something for like $5 off. So because it's full price, it just came out. So maybe I'll sell that and I'll get Returnal and see how that game is. It's supposed to be pretty good. It looks great.
Yeah. I started playing Sim City today.
Oh man.
With Mel and Dan, because they started playing it over the weekend, and because you can it's not really well, I guess it is multiplayer, but it's not like you
have like
share
towns
a city
that connect to each other, right?
Right. Yeah. You can play in the same region and you can share your city resources with one another. And so I, for some reason, my whole goal was initially that I would supply power. Like I would, because what it was is I found out that I had coal in my city in like a really nicely remote area. Mm-hmm. And so like I started mining coal, and then I set up a coal power plant. And I was like, hey, you guys can get rid of your power infrastructure and just buy it from me, because I have, I'm making plenty.
Right. Yeah.
And so they were able to do that. And then I started saving up to make a nuclear power plant so that I could get rid of like the pollution that comes from coal mining and coal power plants. So then I made a nuclear power plant. Now, here's the thing in SimCity, which, without spoiling it, here's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, either Mel or Dan, had a Department of Education attached to their city hall, which allowed my town members, because it was in the same region, the ability to get educated to a higher level, which is required in order to surprisingly required in order to successfully operate a nuclear power plant. If you have uneducated citizens, your nuclear power plant will not function correctly.
Gotcha.
In the sense that it starts spewing radiation.
Okay.
So I would constantly get these alerts, and it just like, I don't know, it wasn't working, the shared education system in this region.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would constantly get these alerts that literally read, you have idiots working in your nuclear power plant and it is spewing radiation. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to go, like, after a period of time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go the clean energy route. I'm going to put down a bunch of solar. I'm going to get rid of my industrial area. I'm going to put down a bunch of solar plants around that area, and then move my industry zones to the top of this hill, which is where my coal mine was originally and where the nuclear power plant was. So then I just delete everything. So I'm like hemorrhaging money, but the goal is that I'll get it back because I'm going to put down a bunch of touristy things like casinos and whatnot in this clean region, and keep this, like, the top of this hill as like the dirty area, so I'm putting down all this industry.
Yeah. And
then like all of these buildings get built and none of them function properly. And when I hover over it'll tell me the reason why, like, they're not working. And every single one of them says high levels of radiation. And so I go to the radiation view and my town is covered in radiation.
Oh, no.
So I can't do anything anymore. I'm like, okay, it turns out I cannot do anything with my town anymore because I got rid of everything that was making money for me, and now I have no money to build anything else, and my town's covered in radiation. So
wow.
So I started and stopped playing SimCity today.
Oh, that sounds, good use of time. So well done. At least you got it out now. That's good. It's fun. Video games are cool. This is a podcast about Stray Kids.
It is, yeah.
But like Stray Kids play games. They went to an arcade in the second episode. So
right.
It's topical. It's topical.
This is not so much a podcast about Stray Kids, but it's a podcast about us and our interactions with the Stray Kids things.
With these Stray Kids. Yeah. Speaking of, I know that we've talked a little bit about like my struggle to decide where we should go after the survival show. So what Jeanette and I have done a little bit recently is we've started to watch like the first episodes of some of the content that they've put out between like now and Kingdom, because we've seen some of it, we've seen a lot of it, but there's like a series that they put out like right after the survival show called The Ninth. It's called The Ninth, and it's like a reality show, so it's more of like this kind of stuff where they go on outings and stuff, and or they move into a new dorm and that kind of stuff, just kind of normal, them being them kind of things. And it's good, but it was like made for YouTube by JYP and not in partnership with like Mnet or anyone else. So the budget is low. So it's fun and it's good. I think it's good, but like it definitely makes me go like, it'd be really fun, and the episodes are short. I think that we can get through them pretty quick. So that's no big deal. And then we get the first real like reality variety show where like it's not just, oh, we're hanging out and we're just doing stuff. It's like they get challenges and they have to do a bunch of crazy stuff. So those ones are super fun, and I think it would make a lot of sense to watch both of them, really. I think we should watch all of the Stray Kids content. But of course, my struggle is, do we go straight to that, or do we skip to Kingdom? Because Kingdom is so good. And I'm just like, even if we keep up this rate and we're watching one episode every week, I don't think we will make, even if we decided, okay, we're going to watch Kingdom right after we finish watching the survival show, we will not make it to Kingdom before the final episode of Kingdom airs. So that's okay. The final episode is live, or we'll have like live voting. So like Jeanette and I will be up at like 4 a.m. putting in votes. Like we're gonna like set an alarm and be like, we have to wake up at this time and we got to start voting. Like I don't know. So it's gonna be interesting. It's just so good, and like I have to hold myself back. Like when we watched the performances, as we kind of like talked about a little bit about, like we watched these performances. And there were two from Stray Kids this week because they had like a main performance with the entire group, and then they basically did a thing where they broke into small groups of different members from different boy groups. And so you got to see like some of the Stray Kids members just perform with people that are not at their company, and you would never get to see this again. So it's a really unique situation, and It was really cool. And not just the cool Deadpool one that they did, but just all the other challenges that they did were awesome as well. And so, like, it's so hard for me not to just be like, Tom, watch this Deadpool thing. This guy's wearing a Diablo shirt. Because then you'll know who all makes it through the survival show. Because, like, people can get eliminated. And
and will. Or at least, as we learned from the first episode of this podcast, there is a member, that
is no longer
we can't
with us.
talk about. We have to ostracize.
It's all right. So, like,
and I intentionally said ostracize there,
right?
not
ostracize,
right?
Right.
As an astracize.
Yeah, I saw a new rumor / development with that person, which was interesting. And I definitely think like, okay, like,
so not murder,
not murder. If we were to jump straight to that Kingdom, then we'd probably have to do an episode just about that situation. And I don't think it would be that long of an episode. We'd call it a bonus episode or whatever, but
sure,
would do that. And then after the first episode of Kingdom, we're going to have another bonus episode. And, and the fandom's well aware of what that means. We'll have to talk about that because that's a hard time. So, but then, we'll it'll be an interesting. I think that one will be a more interesting discussion than the other one. The other one is just kind of like, oh, this happened. So,
yeah.
But
what can you do?
But I don't know. It's hard. I thought about we have a Twitter at I'll Make a Stay Pod on Twitter, and I follow a bunch of stay accounts, and I like stuff and retweet stuff. I've been trying to keep up with all these children, and I had considered maybe putting up a poll and just seeing will we get any traction on a poll, and see if anybody is interested to say what they think. I mean, I don't know that they're all listening, but we can put out a poll and say okay, should we go straight from survival show to survival show, or do we need to watch all of the content in between? And just kind of see, let the community decide, and it'll give us that delicious engagement.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good call for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, what's your opinion on it? What do you think we should do? What do we do, Tom? I don't know.
I think, what we're doing right now, which makes sense probably for the time being. And I can't really, obviously I don't know, anything that comes after this. And so I can't make a call on this, but I would say it's always a safe bet to go chronologically.
Right. Yeah. That's what I thought.
We are going chronologically right now. And I feel like it'd be a bit odd to disrupt that. So
yeah, you're right. When you're right, you're right, and you're always right.
Well, not
but
always,
I want to do a bonus episode with MCU Dad.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure that I will when we get there.
Yeah, when we get to
chronologically.
Kingdom, and I have to remember, oh man, if we get there, if we're going chronologically, we're not going to get to Kingdom for a year. So I'm just oh my god, I can't tell you about MCU Dad, and I might forget. Except that I've got it recorded now, so maybe I won't forget.
Yeah, for some reason I'm smelling chicken, like fried chicken. I don't know why.
Stroke?
No.
Okay, good. Because it's burning. You smell burning, and that's it's supposed to be an indicator.
Yeah. No, it's like, I don't know.
Maybe a neighbor got fried chicken. Maybe Anna got fried chicken. Maybe Jeanette got fried chicken. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
You're just thinking about, Felix and Changbin and Minho having chicken by the Han River.
Yeah,
that's making you want to eat chicken.
But there's a distinct smell of fried chicken in here right now. I don't get it. I don't know why. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, indeed. So, well, that is the episode. We took quite the detour after the episode itself ended.
Yeah. But I mean, fine. I hope people can appreciate that we just like to talk to each other. And it doesn't, sorry for putting it on the podcast about Stray Kids, but I hope that you were entertained by it. And if not, just leave that in the review for the episode.
Leave
just
that in your 5-star review.
These guys need to stay on topic.
5 stars.
5 out of 5.
Yeah. All right. Well, you want to sing that outro song or what?
No. You could just clip it from the last one.
All right. The end. But bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
I'm gonna go have a dinner. I haven't eaten yet.
I gotta find out where this fried chicken's coming from.